Hey everybody, this is Mark Piszczek, composer, musician, and friend of Timucua for several years. So why don't we start by tell us how and where you are?
Oh, I'm in Winter Park, Florida, and I'm fine. In my house, and the process of getting ready to move to Melbourne, Florida. But I plan to take some time out. We built a cottage, and it's got a beautiful office studio in it, and we'll be living over there now.
What have you been doing this whole, weird situation we're in?
I've been working on Christmas music. Uh, a very fine composer, classical guitarist, multi instrumentalist who used to be in Orlando for years and lives in Ojai, California. Larry Williams. He is. I'm working with him on a project, and we're going to do an album of really adventurous versions of various Christmas songs. So I just finished arranging and recording "Here We Come a Wassailing" and "The Holly and the Ivy," and we're going to have some guest artists on it. On "Here We Come a Wassailing," I have the fantastic trumpet player in who's studied with Kenny Wheeler and Wynton Marsalis. He lives in Huntsville, Alabama area. Ken Waters. He's going to play a solo on it, and Larry played fantastic guitar solo on the last one, "The Holly and the Ivy," and I've been playing all oboe on this, jazz oboe. So it's kind of forcing me to get my chops back up on the oboe. So that, and then I just finished a solo flute piece for unaccompanied flute for Nora Lee Garcia, who's going to do that in a couple weeks. So
Very good. So you're keeping busy for sure.
Oh yes, definitely.
Tell us a little bit about the concert that people are about to witness. So Wind Talkers.
Wind Talkers. I was living in Peterborough, New Hampshire, and very near, only about 5 minutes from the famous McDowell Artist Residency. And I lived in this really wonderful old mill building on the top floor. And I just this was in about 2012, I think, and I just really got this burst of sort of inspiration and energy to write music for woodwinds, and I just cranked out like a whole bunch of chamber music at that time. The three movement flute sonata, a woodwind quartet, a woodwind quintet, and a woodwind trio. And basically, I finished them up, and they just sort of, sat on the shelf for a while and didn't really get performed. And when I got down here, and I just realized, I said, "Gosh, I got this music. I think it's pretty good. I'd like to try and put together a concert of it." And I thought that it was sort of nice because with the five members of the classic woodwind quintet, I would have the possibility of doing the trio with flute, oboe, and clarinet, and the quartet, which was just the woodwind quintet without the French horn, and then the woodwind quintet with the French horn. And so I put that together with Timucua and the Central Florida Composers Forum, and it was a really, really fun, wonderful concert. And the Alterity Ensemble, fabulous group of musicians. Was so happy to work with them. And then, Nora Lee Garcia is an amazing flute soloist, and it was a privilege to work with her. And she had a really good time, and I had a wonderful time working with her. And she just asked me to write another piece for her. So,
And I also hear a rumor that one of your piano compositions is going to show up in a piano anthology of new music for piano.
This is true. It's fun. This was a piece. It was that I originally wrote the piece for vibraphone, and it was brutally, insanely difficult. And I had it, and I kept trying to pitch it to various vibraphonists, and they were like, "Oh yeah, I'll get around to that sometime." And then when the Composers Forum decided they were going to have a piano concert, I thought, wow, maybe I could interpret that and change it and arrange it and make it actually a piano piece. So it's called Downrange, and Julian Vaughn played it at the concert at Timucua, and that will show up in the anthology or the collection for the Composers Forum piano book.
So one of the things we're going to do with that project, just so you know, and I mean, no one else knows about this, it's breaking news, is that we're going to, where we host the book, like we're going to let people upload their videos of them performing the pieces if they want to. So the cool thing about that is that you always get a variety of people and, recording means and all that stuff. So you could end up with several very good performances of your piece,
Oh, that's fabulous.
which, so that's good, because of course, like what we had was a one-off, and, and I want to reinforce like this for the Wind Talkers concert, is that it was a lot of music for them to play. Like it was
absolutely
a long, meaty concert for these musicians to play. Now, question, how long did it take you to write that music?
It took me about a month for each piece. So I would say that'd probably be about 6 months for all that music.
Well, it's what was it? About almost 2 hours worth of music, right? It was
90 minutes.
Yeah, 90 minutes of music. So for everyone's benefit, we're going to hear that on Sunday at 7:30 p.m. on Facebook or YouTube, whichever platform you choose to use. And I hope you're available, if you can, just to kind of chime in and answer people's questions and things. It's kind of a unique experience, maybe not as a composer as much, but certainly as a performer, that you can answer questions and things while the performance is going on. It's pretty cool. Like
right.
there's vast limitations to online concert going, but there are a couple of advantages, and one of which, of course, is that people around the world can see the performance. And then, of course, if they cannot make it at that precise time, they can watch it anytime they want afterwards. But it's the fact that you can interact with the audience as the performance is going in, like a text or, typed ways, but still, it's like an interesting facet of performing that we don't usually get to experience. So that's cool. The concert is cool. The music was fabulous. I know that flute piece is going places because you have an advocate in Nora Lee, and then and hopefully all of your music gets played much more than it does now. So
I think Nora had mentioned that she wanted to do that piece at the 50th anniversary of the National Flute Foundation in Chicago. Yeah. And that would be fantastic. I'd fly to Chicago for that in a minute. She did it again at the Florida Flute Convention. And, that was her second time to be able to do it. And it was really good there because she was even more familiar with it, from the premiere. And, I'm very excited if she does it in Chicago. That'd be great, because I think it's a really appealing piece. It's complicated and it's difficult, but it's very lyrical and people really enjoy it. And I think the flutists are going to enjoy playing it as well. So
it's a fun piece for sure. And all your music is fun to hear, and I'm sure it's fun to play. I haven't played a lot of your music, but it's I'm sure it looks like it's fun to play. So.
Funny. I got a strange comment once from a conductor, and he goes, I just don't know about this piece of yours. And this guy, I love this guy. He's been one of my mentors. And it's like, this music is like all over the place. It's like 1916, it's 1936, it's 1945 film music, and it's 1958 serialism, and or something. And whoops, and okay, so then, and I said, but that's what I am. And he was like, oh, that's true. Because I love all of those things, and they have definitely sort of informed my writing, and there's things I love about all that stuff, and it just sort of meshes together. And I write music that I enjoy, and I'm glad. I don't really write for the audience, but you know, I figure if I enjoy it, they're probably going to like it. You know, it's not, you know, it's like I do. And I also believe a lot that sometimes in music, I love that music should have a little bit of a sense of humor sometimes. You know, you take, you know, there's time to be very serious and contemplative, and there's other times when it needs to be a little tongue in cheek, because I feel like life is like that, you know, and music should be a reflection of life, you know, and little references and what do they call them in movies? Easter eggs, when there's little things you might find if you are paying attention, you'll notice a little something, and try to drop those in every once in a while. I'm looking forward to seeing this concert again on Sunday, and it was great fun the first time. And I just, you know, what a treat to be able to do this again. So,
Well, thank you so much, everybody. Sunday night, 7:30 p.m. Don't miss it. Mark Piszczek, one of our great composers from right here in Central Florida. Thank you, Mark.
thank you.
Thanks.
See you Sunday.